city hosting a special celebration for members of the Puerto Rican community to welcome them to the city. Plus, is the cold weather and snow bringing you down? We take a look at an indoor activity to keep you busy. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. It's been months since Hurricane Irma and Maria devastated the island of Puerto Rico. Thousands were forced to leave their homes and many made their way to central Massachusetts. Tonight, the city of Worcester hosted a celebration for the people of Puerto Rico and welcomed them into the city. Our Cam Jandro was there and joins us now live with the details. Cam?
Yeah, Anna, for evacuees, it was the first holiday season since Puerto Rico was rampaged by those two storms. Tonight, I caught up with a woman who lived in Puerto Rico but is now calling Worcester her home. Ramona Torres survived Hurricanes Maria and Irma and spent 23 days in the wreckage before coming to the city. She says the damage was unlike anything she had ever seen before.
The island was destroyed. All the trees and everything, you know, even the houses. There are some people, they lost everything they had, animals, everything. And then we didn't have lights for those days.
Torres endured the hurricanes with her daughter, a central Massachusetts resident. Initially scared to leave the island, she says coming to Worcester was best for her and her family.
We lost most of the things that we had, you know?
Yeah.
But now, thanks God, we have the apartment for about 2 months, right? That we have the apartment, and we have everything that we need so far.
Dozens filled City Hall Monday for a celebration of the Three Kings, one of Puerto Rico's biggest holidays of the year. Following the devastation of the storms, Worcester celebrated with its evacuees and welcomed them to the city.
Since we know that we have people coming, families moving into the city or coming to the city, we wanted to do an event to welcome them. And then we say, why not do it for the Dia de Reyes, which, as I said, is a very important holiday.
Hundreds have made their way to Worcester following last year's storms. City Councilor Sarai Rivera hopes Monday's celebration is a building block to help evacuees rebuild their lives.
Really being able to bring a little bit of that culture, a little bit of that home feel, I think is going to be really special for them. And I think it's part of the healing process and for them to make sure that they know that Worcester welcomes them and this is also their home.
Now, King's Day is quite similar to Christmas, so kids were able to get a few gifts, listen to some live music, and most importantly, they were able to get acquainted with the new city that they live in. And Anna, tonight's party looked like it was a lot of fun.
That's excellent. Thanks for that report, Cam. The Baker-Polito administration announces 12 school districts across Massachusetts, including the Worcester Public Schools, will receive a federally funded grant to help students arriving from Puerto Rico. According to the state's latest numbers, the Worcester Public Schools have enrolled 280 displaced students following the hurricanes. The districts will receive a $5,000 homeless education grant to help with the increase. Districts can use the money to offer a variety of activities, including tutoring, before and after school programs, and collaborations with mental health providers and community services.
But if there are still needs like boots, like gloves, the grant can now provide those extras. In addition, we're going to do some counseling for the families because it's such a traumatic event to leave a place of origin and find yourself in a completely new world.
The city expects it will need around $2.7 million next year to help serve the students. Harrington Hospital unveils its new Child and Family Services Center Monday. They've added 12 new clinicians, which doubles their current team, and will provide a range of therapy services, including mental health counseling and group sessions for children and adolescents from ages 4 to 24 and their families. Katie Adams, Director of Mental Health Services, says it isn't always easy to gain access to these kind of services without being put on a wait list. The new center will allow for walk-in therapy appointments. She says another important thing about the space and the commitment to expanding is destigmatizing mental health.
That's 300 years old, where the windows are creaky and the doors are dirty. This is it's a clean space, it's a new space. We're calling it the Child and Family Services Center. We've designed it from the logo to the inside of the building to be built in a way that you could be coming here for speech pathology. This is a destigmatized service.
Adams says this center will be used as a model for future projects. A new Child and Family Services Center in Putnam, Connecticut is slated to open in March. An increase in the amount of trash at an Auburn facility is creating a big job for trash and recycling professionals. They've had to hire more people over the holiday season to keep up with almost double the amount they usually see. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Mounds of wrapping paper and cardboard boxes fill Casella Material Recovery Facility in Auburn. These are some of the remains of a holiday season. And it's keeping the workers here busy.
A lot of long hours, a lot of hard work.
General Manager Paul Degnan says they usually average 350 tons of trash and recycling a day. But since the beginning of December, they've seen the amount rise to between 400 and 500 tons a day.
We brought on some extra folks to help us process and sort the recycling. Those are mostly temporary laborers through the season.
Degnan says the recent cold weather and last week's snowstorm also slowed things down, making it tougher for workers to do their job.
How long it takes to get everything processed, how long it takes to get it picked up at the curb. Trucks have a problem running in the extreme cold.
The facility separates trash from recyclables for most of central Massachusetts. Degnan says a lot of the time people aren't recycling the right things.
In some cases people think it's recyclable. It's just not recyclable in a curbside program in our programs. We see a lot of plastic bags still, a lot of clothing, sneakers. There are other ways to recycle that material. It doesn't belong in the curbside recycling, and it doesn't belong at this facility.
He says the influx of materials should slow down within the next few weeks, unless the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl.
The longer the Patriots stay in the playoffs and the more they generate get-togethers, the more recycling there is. So it's a good thing.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Last week's snowstorm and cold weather forcing the American Red Cross to cancel dozens of their blood drives. The organization says now they are in urgent need of blood and platelet donations. More than 150 blood drives were canceled, causing more than 5,000 donations to go uncollected. The Red Cross says every 2 seconds, someone in the country needs blood.
The great thing about the Red Cross is we're a national organization, so if we are having snowstorms here, we might be able to be helped out by other donation centers across the country. So that is one great thing that we have going on. But with such a large scale storm like we had on Thursday, it took out a large region of areas that we're not able to collect.
The Red Cross says seasonal illnesses also contribute to fewer donations throughout the winter. Last week's weather also forcing many people to stay home and indoors. Doctors say the weather can have an impact on a person's mood. So many were trying to battle winter blues being active today. Our Chandler Walsh takes a look.
Adonis Ramirez can finally walk his dogs at Worcester's Elm Park after last week's deep freeze. Ramirez says he couldn't do much but stay inside the last several days, and now it's coming to an end.
I can do a lot of activities that I couldn't do when I actually was frozen outside, when it was freezing outside.
The bitter cold doesn't just affect day-to-day life. Dr. Anthony Rothschild says it can also affect mood.
And then if you take the stretch of cold weather we've had and big snowstorms, that's another kind of stress that can add to the winter blues.
Dr. Rothschild says there are more serious causes of winter blues like seasonal affective disorder and vitamin D deficiency. These conditions can be diagnosed by a doctor. He also says keeping up with normal activities can decrease chances of depression.
People should try and find something that interests them, something that they like to do, and try and focus on that.
The Bateman brothers beat the winter blues by staying active year-round. On Monday, they went indoor rock climbing.
For me, it helps my overall mood to stay active, helps me, remain productive, as well as just keeping in shape.
The brothers enjoy indoor rock climbing at Central Rock Gym in Worcester as an escape from the cold weather.
There's a certain amount of misery that comes with being in the cold. Even if you're a really hardcore ice climber, mountaineer, it's nice to come inside and have some happy, all good kind of experiences.
Dr. Rothschild says this week's thaw is the perfect time to get outside. So you say now that it's getting warm, get out there?
Yes.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Switching gears now, one of 2 men charged with stabbing a Worcester woman in 2015 is set to go on trial this week. According to the Worcester County District Attorney's Office, jury selection is scheduled to begin Thursday in Worcester Superior Court for the trial of Pedro Soulless. He's charged with stabbing Sharice Hill to death outside of Kirsch Liquors in Worcester. Prosecutors say Soulless stabbed Hill 19 times. Kevin Miranda is also charged with murder and will be tried separately. Both suspects have pleaded not guilty and remain in custody without bail. The lucky $559 million Powerball jackpot winner has yet to come forward. According to lottery officials, the lone Powerball ticket matching all 6 numbers was sold at a store in Merrimack, New Hampshire. And the person who holds the ticket isn't the only lucky one. The store it was purchased at will receive a $75,000 bonus just for selling it. Now, it is possible we may never know who won the prize because New Hampshire is one of the handful of states letting winners claim the prize through a trust. The winner has a year from today to claim their money.